想我好好做梦，不会有梦醒的时候，却不管我真回头。难为你是我不想认的错，是我唱不够的哭过，我也恨我竟然还有选择。我恨梦总有清醒的时候，刚好我有理智追究，我会是你的什么？人是我的，而人生为你慌什么？命是我的，我宁愿为你乱什么？我真想直说，我无法为你快乐而快乐，看你还怎么捍卫你所有角色。活该你是我最好的朋友，也是我最坏的对手，谢幕前我无法独自先走。或者你是想我好好做梦，不会有梦醒的时候，却不管我真回头。难为你是我不想认的错，是我唱不够的哭过，我也恨我竟然还有选择。我恨梦总有清醒的时候，刚好我有理智追究，我会是你的什么？你还是我的什么？不是我的别给我，不是我的不要了。你是你的，我是我。
From my shadow guide, I bear a message of death for my enemies. My spirit returns to flesh. From my shadow guide, I bear a message of death for my enemies.
I bring an end to magic.
加钱，等他明天还是什么结果？
For our fathers gone beyond the hills.
In check.
Trees are not so good with motion.
My spirit.
You can't keep a demon down.
书包惨惨啊！
Enchanted, I'm sure. I'll just sharpen my spear and I'm ready to go.
Can't keep a demon down.
There's no taming me!
spirit.
The strong shall eat the weak.
There's no taming me! Hell yeah!
My spirit returns to flesh.
Nhiều lòng.
From my shadow guide, I bear a message of death for my enemies.
Trees are not so good with motion, you know. I bring an end to magic. Trees are not so good with motion. I'll not be crushed. I bring an end to magic.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
Can't keep a demon down.
Vile sorcerers. There's no taming me!
nhỏ kìa.
That's why you go before, Dracos. In the middle of a solo queue game, you don't get the pause function. You'd have to lose. So you go before or after.
It's true. And also, as a quick side note, I have definitely, we've all been in that position where we're like, can Trevor come to the desk and sub in for me halfway through a cast? We've asked that question before, but we'll stay off that topic now as we focus back, because I figured it out, the Fnatic composition, Bedius. I figured it out. Yeah.
To me, it's just a late game Fnatic composition.
Well, yeah, that was what I was going to say. You kind of took the win down. Do you remember when Fnatic just whooped G2?
You mean that final in Copenhagen?
Yeah, where it was like, oh, Reckless Penta, Reckless Penta, Reckless Penta, like one after another.
I remember.
This feels like that kind of composition where it's like, hey, so we think we can out-teamfight you if we just take the game long enough, so we're just going to do everything in our power to get to that point in the game.
Yeah, so that's great. However...
cool story.
Cool story, bro. However, the thing about teamfight comps is they work best when they kind of have something to play around. So if you kind of have a good engage or like a front line that can then like soak up the initial damage, maybe get an ultimate or two thrown at them, then it means that the Sivir and the Cassio can better position. Now the problem with Fnatic's comp is they don't really have that. That's why when I saw the Zac cover, I think that would have been better for them, because I think it would have actually provided that tool, and it could.
Head for the quarry! We did it, Little Rock!
Enchanted, I'm sure. Oh, do not run too fast, for I will but bespeak thy grave and die.
In the service of Salamene.
Oh, do not run too fast, for I will but bespeak thy grave and die.
In the service of Salamene.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
I bring an end to magic. Can't keep a demon down. Righteous.
Service of
Lord of the Madness.
a new moon.
just sharpen my spear and I'm ready to go.
The dragon comes for war. Can't keep a demon down. I was the devil on your shoulder.
In the service of Salamene.
Lord of Alanis.
In the service of Salamene.
Power stirs within.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
Righteous.
Time for target practice.
Enchanted, I'm sure. I'll just sharpen my spear and I'm ready to go.
The dragon comes for war.
In the service of Salamene. A new moon.
Lord of Anonymous.
Ah, yeah! Woohoo! There's no taming me! Hell yeah!
You can't keep a demon down.
Ah, yeah! Woohoo!
Hashtag IEM to get involved in the conversation because I want to hear what you've got to say. That's right. We're going to be gaming, recording, and streaming without compromise, live and uncut here as we look to send our next team onward into the majors. And to do that, to tell that story, will be none other than Scrawny and his friend Mohan. Take it away, guys.
Friend, that's a stretch of the imagination, I think.
What, colleague? We're just colleagues now?
Oh, I was thinking business associate.
Business associate. Wow, acquaintance? Okay, that's fine.
It could be one map separating Envy from defeat and Furia from IEM Katowice, folks. It's a hell of a game coming off of Overpass, and I've got to say, I'm in the same boat. I think this is 2-0 Furia today. I think they want it. I think they've already got it in their back of their own minds.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the energy they were kind of dishing out versus Envy, the bad manners and whatnot, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not even sure what prompted Stunna to say that. Maybe it's just like general community reaction in the past to that kind of behavior, I suppose. But yeah, it's part of the game. And as was mentioned, psychological warfare. It's something that has won many things in all of sports history, and at least assisted in it.
In much of
CT
history.
setup, yeah, much of history. CT setup here. 3 players to the back of the site. Very strong positions that need to normally be mollied out. One of those mollies will come the way of Quad. Fence is still wide open, however. And Vinny?
Well, he's tapping away. He was very key, actually, to the CT side of Furia versus NRG yesterday from this very same position. Just kind of holding down Fence, always back around Quad, keeping his team in it. But Envy are gone.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. They've got JDM to push through the B bomb site, and not a single CT in sight. So the A stack seemed to be the right read, but Envy kept their options open, even with all of that utility flying out of A main.
They have Cutler as well behind the enemies. Ooh, damn. One tap dirt nap from the backside. He even catches the next player in. That's Vinny. But Yuri's the one who has a chance at actually catching kills here. Kerrigan drops him as Vinny moves forward. And this keeps things interesting. He's going to go ahead and jump onto the bomb with the smoke on top of him.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't have a kit. This is a 10-second defuse, halfway gone. Vinny has half of his health. The terrorists start to get a little scared, and they will ultimately still win the round. 1-0 for Envy, kicking it off with the front foot.
Came close at the end with the diffuse and the smoke, and almost a full 10-seconder, but Furia don't win the round. Envy will get the bomb plant the round, and it's partially thanks to JDM. I don't know if it was the initial strategy to throw kind of a fake and escort Cutler out, but it seemed pretty deliberate what they were trying, and I guess maybe JDM was so close to the B wall he heard the rotates out of the site and spotted an opportunity, called for everybody to come back. And yeah, for Furia, I think it is kind of a guessing game for them, as there are no matches played for Envy, and they have not played Envy in scrims prior to this event. So there will be a lot of stuff that Envy could potentially employ to catch Furia off guard, and we know that they are a tricky team. B push here on the pistol, or on an eco round. That's all USPs, and they get all the information, but since there are no kills, they're going to hastily rotate back through their site and make sure that mid hasn't been compromised. Vinny will be the first point of contact for Furia on A. This would be a long-range Zeus.
Extra long. He's going to try to even get close. For a moment, you can't help but root for him. He's not going to find it in the end. Cutler giving space towards A as bomb is planted. Very successful anti-eco here from Envy.
Part of the reason we're so hesitant to even think that Envy could work their way back into this map, I mean, well, partially is because we've never seen them play Cash, at least with this lineup, but also just because they played so badly on their map choice, and a lot of it had nothing to do with tactics. It felt like just, you know, they just didn't show any passion when it came to entering bomb sites. They weren't hitting kills. They weren't winning kind of favorable post plants. They even got ecoed in the second half. And so that some of that could come down to confidence. Some of it's maybe because they know they still have the third place qualifier. That bomb tap actually sucks a few players back into the site, one of which will probably die. Oh no, Cutler gets away just in time. Nice attempt there from Art to get some extra damage in at the end. And there is going to be a buy up with Vinny going right through the AUG, his specialized or a specialty weapon.
You were saying yesterday that that he's been using it for a long time now?
Yeah, so somebody tweeted me, and I would love to give them credit, but somebody tweeted me and said that Vinny has been using the AUG for well over a year, just long before any updates, and everybody always called him peculiar for doing it, even when it was expensive, but he has gotten so good at it that he's actually just shown us like an incredible spray, like better than anybody's spray that we've seen so far.
Well, this would be a good time to show it. There's Kerrigan down. He's going to get aggressive into A main, finding Cutler, hitting him too. Down into the depths. That's a second frag for the CTs. Abel amidst the bomb site, even catches the planter and that quad anchor, but Nifty still has forklift. And he's got a Galil to play off of. Such little health, however, makes it a third round not in their favor, folks. It's Furia on the board.
An absolute force to be reckoned with, those AUGs. 5 kills between them, and everybody from Envy goes down. They attempt to execute in the middle of a smoke, which is not uncommon to do, but obviously the toxic position is very, very useful while that smoke is still up. As soon as the smoke goes down, spotting over top of it, you can get crushed from A main if there's an offer. Like JDM is sitting at the back of A main, he's usually going to win that duel, so it becomes a much more precarious spot. But I guess he was fortunate that Envy decided to ruthlessly execute without wasting any time. JDM goes for the blind op shot through the smoke at mid, is not successful. Vinny does spot into A main and notices there's at least one player here who'll also hear this reload. And now is just going to re-aggress without any flash. Won't be able to fall back, and oh my goodness, pulls out the double AUG frag, but JDM goes ahead and trades instantaneously.
Yeah, let's see if Art can continue to cut down the numbers. We'll have a vision on Squeaky Door, sees the shoulder, catches Cutler. 4 versus 2 at this point. Got Nifty feeling out the A site. Bomb's actually in tow behind him on the offer, and Nifty, well, they haven't seemed to find him just yet.
Art has a Molotov, but he's on Cat right now, so it might be hard to kill Fork in this situation. Could come down to Nifty's position. I didn't even realize that wasn't a T. Quesarado on the big flank through Squeaky, leaving JDM alone. He was saying that he and JDM had good chemistry in 2vx's.
Yeah.
And they showed it off, obviously, on Dust 2.
Both those 2v4s yesterday had Nifty in the mix.
Right. Definitely coming alive in the mid-round.
If that's one thing that I'd like to praise as well with Envy is like at least these, normally, not in this instance, of course.
Sure.
But we saw some really cool mid-round plays from them when they're in those disadvantageous situations, or even when they're just playing bomb sites together, like JDM Cutler synergy, Nifty JDM, Nifty Cutler. You know, we saw some solid holds, and I wonder how much of that is kind of Kerrigan's fixation on the communication within the team. You know, he had an interview with HLTV where he mentioned that sometimes at this tier of North American Counter-Strike, comms can be kind of hectic, you know, a little sloppy. Well, in my mind, you start tightening up that communication, you are going to start unlocking, you know, that next level of team play.
Yeah, Nifty said, from him, his own mouth, he said that he felt like with JDM, if he would tell JDM to do something in a 2v whatever, that JDM would just do it immediately, and vice versa. And so they just had a good, I guess they liked each other's ideas, and they were able to both be good listeners in those situations, and that just made things seamless. Here is an eco round for Envy. JDM with the op, obviously. He's going to lead the charge. I think they were going to attempt to, or hope that he gets an off pick so that they could just crush B really quickly. But now that they get smoked out, it seems like they'll slow down the pace. they have the smokes to smoke checker out completely, so B main and checker. And that is kind of a good strategy on an eco round to get into the site. How they utilize JDM, though, will be a big question mark. But with plenty of time left on the clock, they seem happy to wait. They are at risk of obviously getting pushed. Furia is not going for that push. But I'm sure they're tense and thinking about the odds and probabilities that Furia might.
The flash from his teammate, Yuri opts not to move.
Yeah, and Envy didn't move either, which I think that's all the flash was meant to see. So this could work.
Remember that op will be giving support. Kerrigan actually dies right behind him. So yeah, Yuri coming out of the corner is good for 3 frags. Swap into the USP. He'll just get an assist on that 4th kill, and Cutler could easily be the 5th. He's waiting. Wants to rock that P250 as much as he can, but no sir, nothing other than empty hands. It's Furia 3-2.
I've said yesterday that the match they played versus Furia on Cash, it should have been a lot more one-sided, but Furia just had so many crazy individual plays that brought him back into it. Yuri was at the forefront of that on our screens, playing the vent, playing B rotator. He was just outstanding when it came to the CT holds. So expect more of those for sure. They seem to have carried over a lot of the confidence and momentum that they had yesterday. Buy up here is Envy. Don't have all the guns they want. They go for mid control. Arc gets pushed back into vents. And I don't think they know exactly where he is.
He could very easily come back into this. Opts not to. He'll drop down from his vent position. And now the real test falls onto Vinny. He will section off the E-box push. Single kill for him. Drone, good trade. Creates that space in the face of the truck. Oh, vision blocked off with this utility usage.
Look at this. Quesarado actually just pulled out of the smoke from the site just to play the retake. So they've got the 4v3 and they have 2 Molotovs and an HE and a smoke for A main.
Right. All the kits in the world they could ask for too. So time not going to be too big of a problem, but maybe Nifty can. He's going to be that first point of contact. Puts a couple bullets down range. They're going to know he's over here, so we do see that retake molly come out. The next one hits the quad. Cutler's going to throw back the only grenade that the T's now have, and the counter-terrorists really have to get this rolling. This is when the pressure starts to sink in. Cutler cleared from behind, drone with an additional kill. There's nobody on the bomb just yet, and because of that, they shouldn't have it, no sir. That right there is Envy tying it up at 3.
Yeah, they do pull it off. It was that late and that last second Molotov from Cutler. Good on him to hold it for so long. Really changed the game for Furia. They really wanted to come in through the site, but instead had to wrap around red or wait the full 7 seconds to come through. Couldn't make that decision quickly enough, and Envy go ahead and capitalize on that. It looked like it was about to get sketchy considering they left Art in the vent and didn't seem to know that he was there. The flash went over mid, he took a few shots and then backed off, but even he was too scared to peek mid and assumed it was very obvious that he was in vents. And that made it so that there was actually 3 people dedicated to B. He would have been the other fast rotator over towards A, and so it came down to Vinny as Quesarado was back in the site and eventually gave up the site to try to hold all by himself. He could only get 1 kill, and Envy picked a good way to execute on A. I don't know how much of it was them realizing that Furia were going to be light on A, but oh, was that Furia? Vinny actually got 2 kills there, but they still picked the right site. So kudos to them. They had limited information, but they made a good read, I guess, off the back of it. And now they once again turn their attention to B.
Smoke deep down, Molotov further. Yuri, I mean, he saw these players. That's a nice little bit of utility coming out from Envy. Molotov to block him off and push him back. Frag grenade to catch it. He sits to 63. Nifty charging forward on this MAC-10. There are still counter-terrorists on the defense here. They have that checkers control, and Art's secondary op is just cutting down the numbers. Yuri's buying time for his teammates to come over as fast as they can, and all the while, bomb's been thrown out into the open. Quesarado, nice hit. Finds the timing in from vents, delays Envy further. Nifty scared at this point, and I don't blame him. The utility's gone from the T side. They should still be able to plant, but Vinny's deep frag grenade is certainly going to hit Nifty for some damage. Could even kill him. Oh, 5 HP the difference as Kerrigan gets a very crucial headshot. Now that leaves us 2v2. Last flash out for Furia, and they're not able to burst off of it. Therefore, just going to have to walk in dry with Kerrigan prying his eyes down towards headshot. Vinny does still get outwards. Nifty's gonna fall to a single bullet, and if Kerrigan was dead, that'd be one thing, but he locks down the round. 3 for him in a crucial moment, individually showing up.
Absolutely, fantastic round from Kerrigan. Those 3 kills were all very and equally important. Envy go for the crazy execute onto B, and Furia do a great job of standing strong. They delayed for a long time, the rotators got kills. There's a few moments there where you think, okay, Furia are just going to be able to collect themselves and bring this back, but you got to appreciate that all of Envy's nades showed us that they were aware of both the op and checker and the player on site, and they tried to isolate them and molly them out. They forced a smoke out on default and an awkward engagement that the MAC-10 ended up winning, and they also put Yuri into checker bot, which is not a position that he wants to be in when it's known.
Flashbang to A main, JDM's with 1, drone spraying him down. Sure enough, Kerrigan dies, but that's it. Furia were all in on the single flashbang. They die together, committed to the cause.
I also wonder how much, it's crazy because Furia just playing so well, you know, at their first like really big LAN together, but I also wonder how much, you know, they're still human, like they have to experience pressure, right? I mean, like, I feel like Kerrigan, no matter what his stock after all this is said and done, has risen because he's kind of performed above expectations with a random team, even though the players are quite good and have their own individual storied performances. But for Furia, like this is kind of like everything. They've never done it before. You know, the story is so much greater in that regard.
And kind of with the fall off of Luminosity, we've all been asking ourselves, like, who's the best Brazilian team after MIBR? Well, this major, or minor rather, did have 4 Brazilian teams, only 1 left. Only 1 with a chance to get into the actual event of IM Katowice, and it's Furia. The team featuring Vinny, who seems to be the AUG god. He'll catch 2 kills by quad, comes in for a 3rd. He's gonna swap out weapons as he tries to figure out where Kerrigan's got off to. No casualties for Furia here in the 9th round. That is flawless.
Vinny makes it look so easy, but for a lot of people, they can't control the AUG past the first 7 bullets. He's able to get 2 kills, no problem. Always set himself up for a 3rd kill, and it's not just because of the AUG, it's because he has great positioning. But again, it just seems like he's so comfortable holding down sites by himself with it. Even on a previous round, we saw Queserado evacuate after his hold fell through, and it doesn't seem like they're relying on playing together too much on the A side, and instead just having him play around the fence or quad, and then either getting kills or not getting kills. Reverse door open to get Vinny up on the boost. They find it to be much safer, maybe because teams oftentimes spam from A main very safely as T's. In terms of time, it's probably about the same. And we have not checked up on this push, but are going to go ahead with some delayed mid-control. Always nice to go for delayed mid-control just because a lot of the CT's Molotovs and other nades and stuff like that come out early. So if you avoid the chance that you take nade damage that wasn't even maybe meant for you. But Art will keep an eye on this. Standard setup from the CTs as he plays from the white box with an op. Seems like a reverse boost in the event is imminent. Smoke out on B main to allow them to do this safely. Doesn't seem like there'll be a remolly. The flash is out and drone goes down.
Yep, nobody even damages him for the push. Nifty tries his best, keeping them sectioned inside the checkers. They really want to, though. They could easily push him. He's alone entirely. We've got Envy starting to move their feet towards A. Once they get here, they will catch Vinny up and above. When I say catch, well, they may be caught. Not gonna clear it. Kerrigan runs inwards with the bomb and throws it out onto the open. So Envy, it's either in or out. They are gonna push forward. Nifty's Deagle gets that kill. Don't let your eyes fool you. JDM moving inwards, trying to trade off of this. 8 seconds for the bomb plant to go down. There's just so many bodies being thrown forward, but damn it, Nifty! 4 frags for him, starting off with a Deagle, and he does it based on time.
And you saw him no-scope that guy on Shroud?
Yeah, of course.
Nasty Deagle, man. That was crazy second shot. A round that was much needed. It felt like Furia had the perfect A setup. They looked very strong on A on previous rounds, and they deal with a Shroud boost that can always net you a couple of kills because of kind of how little you anticipate it. Kerrigan obviously just running out into the site, not even clearing it because there's so many other angles to worry about. that's low on your list of priorities. And yeah, partly a part of that is due to just the lack of audio cues, as Envy don't go into squeaky with the default. They also don't go into A main or don't do anything quickly. And the late mid control gets shut down as well. Furia looked super solid moving into this round. Really took all the heroics for Nifty to pull this one out. And I'm glad he ran out of UMP bullets so we could see this.
Woo. That headshot. And that does boil down to Furia looking to just envelop the bomb site. You know, they could have played retake with the remainders of the players who did rotate over. If somebody had just been patient, I don't think that might actually happen. But they pressured the Moffat. And here's the cost. We're just going to have some pistols tossed around Furia here in round 11. Down by 2. The T side that's starting to piece itself together. I mean, take into consideration, Nifty's 4K just now. That is right after Furia have finally won their 4th round, so.
As soon as that first kill goes down, Art makes his way over the boost just because his teammate kind of makes his position known or allows them to more easily anticipate the thought that he might be there. Very weak pistols left over. Envy won a pretty important round there, huh?
Yeah, really important one. Definitely enables them to kind of shoot for the stars here. What is left of their T side. As Furia can smack them out of nowhere with an upset of their own.
Let's not get crazy.
Not in this round. You know, I'll give him a chance if it was armored pistols. I'd give him a chance if they were still 5 up. But Vinny, not even going to be given an opportunity here. Nifty tries to rapidly clear other corners. There's no one to find, however. Furia are gone.
Should be an easy bomb plant in the 4v2 with lots of guns.
There's no taming me. Righteous. Gracious me. There's no taming me.
Victory is ours.
I shall profane their lands with my hoofbeats.
Hell yeah! I bring an end to magic. I bring an end to magic.
In the service of Salamene.
Monster kill!
Righteous! Vile sorcerers, to thy just reward my blade compels thee.
In the service of Salamene, a new moon.
There's no taming.
In the service of Salamene.
对。
他不得华语，我刚刚是。